Let's talk about the $1,200 checks that people are increasingly anxious to receive, understandably. Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, said yesterday and today, stimulus checks are coming in 3 weeks, supposedly. Now, the devil is into details, so we're going to go through those details now. The Senate, remember, has passed a $2 trillion stimulus bill. The House hasn't yet passed it. They're expected to pass it tomorrow, Friday. Hopefully that happens. Hopefully Trump signs it. It's been wildly delayed. About 10 days ago, this could have been done. Could have been done closer to 2 weeks ago, really. Meaning if that had been done 2 weeks ago, we would now only be 1 week from people starting to get the money. Instead, we are 3 weeks away. But that's only for roughly half the people. The other half are likely going to have to wait 3, 4, or 5 additional weeks, meaning half of the folks who qualify for the checks are likely 2 months from receiving them. Meanwhile, Trump wants everything reopened in 18 days. April 12th, he wants to let it rip and have churches full. Now, later, I'm going to tell you about the unemployment numbers, which have exploded. Biggest week in new filing of unemployment in the history of the United States. The point is people need cash. Here's Steven Mnuchin this morning on CNBC laying out the timeline.
Joining us now is Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. First, Mr. Secretary, congratulations on the record time you put this together, particularly versus 2007, 2009. When will the checks be in the mail?
Well, Jim, first of all, thanks for having me back, and I want to thank the Senate for their swift action. People literally worked round the clock for 5 days.
Okay, so I apologize for interrupting, but so already everyone's pretending this has happened so quickly. Mnuchin is thanking the Congress and Trump's thinking this, that, the other thing. We knew this was coming 6 to 8 weeks ago. They could have started the framework for this at that point in time. It could have been done and signed 10 days ago. But regardless, everybody pats each other on the back. We knew that. We expected that. It's bogus. Let's continue to the meat of this thing.
And the President and I and others couldn't be more pleased with the absolute unanimous support on a bipartisan basis to get this done. In regards to the checks, I announced yesterday from the White House press conference, first of all, most of these will be direct deposits, so we call them checks in the mail, but most of them will be direct deposits. It'll be within 3 weeks. We are determined to get money in people's pocket immediately, so that will be within 3 weeks.
No issues with the House. We don't have to worry about that. Can they hold it up?
I would hope that the House passes this unanimously. I've already reached out to the Speaker and to Kevin McCarthy on the sense of urgency. The American workers and American public and American business, they need the money now.
Okay, so 3 weeks for most people. Now, this is really important to understand. If you don't have a bank account on file with the government, with the IRS from prior tax returns, you're likely looking at 3 to 5 additional weeks, meaning it could be 2 months before you get your check or direct deposit. That's going to be discussed. That's a different process that still has to be figured out. So the people in the 3-week bracket that Steven Mnuchin is referring to are people who filed tax returns either already for 2019 or you filed your 2018 taxes. And you had a refund, which required you to, or gave you the option of putting in your bank account info so that you got the refund via direct deposit and that bank account is still active. If you meet that criteria, you got a refund in the last 2 years and the bank account you used is still active, then you are in the 3-week bracket. Okay, that's estimated to be half of the people that are eligible for the checks, for the deposits. The other 50%, it's going to be a much longer process. And they're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 additional weeks from what I've been reading so far. So consider the sort of conflict, how incongruous all of these different things are. Trump is talking during his daily press briefings like we've almost won the fight against the so-called invisible enemy, the invisible scourge or scourge, as he calls it. He wants to open things back up on April 12th. He wants churches packed for Easter. Meanwhile, in the best case, if the government has your bank info on file, you will get your $1,200 after Trump wants the country reopened. If they don't have your bank info on file, you could be looking at 3 to 5 more weeks. Now, as far as if you're not up to speed on the details, this is $1,200 per person for income up to $75,000. it starts phasing out between $75,000 and $99,000 in income. And then after $99,000, it goes to zero. The numbers are doubled for couples. So if you have a couple, the ceiling is 149K or 150,000, call it. If one person makes 148,000, the other person makes 1,000. As a couple, you make 149. You're still under 150. You still get $2,400 total, $1,200 each. You also get $500 per child. And then in addition to this, for folks who are filing for unemployment benefits, the federal government, from assuming that the House signs this is in the Senate bill, but we have to assume that the House was going to do the same thing. The federal government will boost state unemployment benefits by $600 a week. That's huge. There are states, I know folks in some states in the Midwest, where the benefits are in the 300s per week. So if the benefits call it $375 a week, another $600 a week is literally the difference between being able to afford your necessities and not. So that is a really big deal. But again, notice nothing lines up. We have an incoherent timeline. Many governors are extending stay-home orders into April. Some of them are even going into May. Trump says we're winning and we're reopening on April 12th. Half of the country is going to get checks around April 16th. The other half are looking at mid-May for getting their checks or direct deposits. And meanwhile, cases and deaths continue to explode faster and faster in the U.S., accelerating even beyond the growth that Italy and Spain saw at their worst moments. So we're not in good shape. We're going to deal later today with the unemployment issue. We're going to deal with the case rate and a whole bunch of other stuff. Despite all of the bad news, I am glad that you're with us today. Let me know your thoughts on what we've discussed so far on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. I've got something really cool today. The first 500 people who see this video and go to davidpakman.com/skill will get a premium membership to Skillshare for 2 months for free. Skillshare is the online learning community offering thousands of classes on almost anything you can imagine. Everything's taught by experts. The classes get split up into bite-sized lessons. So even if you're really busy like me, you can fit Skillshare into your schedule. There are classes on drawing, painting, photography, video editing, web design, running a small business. And that's not even scratching the surface. I got some great ideas from a recent class I took called YouTube Success. And even though we've been on YouTube for years, I still got a lot out of it. They have classes for every skill level, whether you want to get better at something you're already experienced in or you want to explore something totally new. And like I said, the first 500 people who see this video and go to davidpakman.com/skill will get a completely free premium membership for 2 months, giving you access to every class Skillshare offers. Check it out. I put the link right underneath this video.